What is up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Mets'd podcast. Just won a series against the Cubs, playing for a wild card spot there for the Chicago Cubs, playing a little bit of spoiler right now, taking 2 of 3. Some good baseball being played. A lot of stuff to talk about. Pete Alonso's hot. Phil Bickford getting his first save. And we're going to talk about the Brett Baty demotion down to AAA. Everything going on in Mets world for you guys, as always, on Mets'd Up. Make sure you're following us over on our social media, at Mets'd Up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Go subscribe to the New York Mets YouTube channel if you want to see the video version of this. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download and subscribe. We appreciate you. James, back at Citi Field. It was rocking tonight.
Citi Field was rocking tonight. This was one of the best crowds I think we've had at Citi Field in a little while.
Felt good.
Football jersey giveaway was really cool, and the energy of the fans in the stadium was amazing throughout. Like, we met a lot. We kind of traveled around the ballpark a lot tonight, and we played our Mets Immaculate Grid game in center field beforehand. Got some great engagement there. Going to be some cool TikToks coming to you guys soon, and then just hanging out with people in the stands. Everyone was great tonight. A lot of good vibes. A lot of podcast listeners came and said hello. We met. The highlight of the night was certainly the little child that we met up the first base line. This kid was so genuinely happy to be at the Mets game.
And he also, for sure, jacked up on sugar.
Crazy jacked up on sugar. He was like holding onto the rail going like, I'm having so much fun.
He said that out loud. He screamed it. He couldn't stop fist bumping me and giving me high fives. He wasn't even watching the game. He was just interested.
Watching a little bit. He was excited. And he was doing the fist bump with the right after. Yeah, exploding it. He was fun. It was really cool to see like the genuine love of like the Mets and just like that weird bittersweet feeling of like feeling the stadium rocking and like thinking back over the last year and just like seeing that, like see the way the season has gone. But really nice to have the fans in tow going crazy for a night.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, especially like that Pete home run, which we'll talk about his hot streak here in a little bit. But that Pete home run in, what was it, the 5th or 4th inning, whatever it was, to tie the game up for the Mets in Game 3. I mean, the crowd roared. Absolutely roared. And like we looked at each other like, this place is really loud tonight.
Same with the Jeff McNeil home run in the 6th inning to take the lead. It was a lot of action in the stands. It was a really, really good crowd. It kind of reminded you of what Mets fans really are.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this with my dad a couple hours ago, but like Mets fans were born and bred from summers like this.
Yeah.
If you're a Mets fan because you like the winning teams, you might not really be a Mets fan.
You're not there yet.
This is where we come from. This is where we were born out of. This is what we exist in.
Doesn't mean we're happy that we're in this situation.
There's no complacency.
I'd love to get comfortable with being a very much like a winning, team, but
my point is that just because this team isn't having the season they hope for, it doesn't mean Mets fans aren't going to show up and aren't going to be passionate.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Definitely cool. And to get back to the beginning of the series here, before the first game started, we found out about Brett Baty's demotion, which is something that I think we saw was always a possibility with the way that he had been playing. He hasn't just been the same. I think he even said at one point, like when talking to the media or whatever, that the games felt a little bit fast, and I think you could kind of tell that a little bit. Didn't look comfortable at the plate, didn't look comfortable in the field at times. What do you think about the demotion for Brett?
I think that it is something that I expect to help him. I also think it's kind of like we always talk about here. It's a little bittersweet because it really felt like there was a point this spring, especially that Friday night game in May against the Guardians, where he was really turning a corner. That was May 19th. And at the time, he'd hit a big home run that game to start the Mets comeback. Cool opposite field home run as well, with the black jersey, feeling himself. He's 100 plate appearance into the season at that point because he spent the first few weeks of the season down in AAA. The 113 WRC plus, a 20% strikeout rate, and 9% walk rate. And he was chasing far less than league average. He had 25% chase rate, while league average was up by 32%.
Fantastic.
And 10% barrels in a small sample, which is a really good benchmark for having appropriate power and is far better than the league average. So it kind of felt like he'd been, kind of treading water and being better than average, doing a lot of things well, hitting the ball hard, not extending the zone. And he was kind of about to go on that streak. And then since that time, since May 20th, it just kind of seemed like it got really hard for Brett. 213 plate appearances since then. That strikeout rate ballooned to over 30%. The chase rate went up to 31%. He had an 8% walk rate, went down a little bit. 60 WRC plus, and only 10 extra base hits in those 213 plate appearances.
And I feel like that was kind of the big thing that you were noticing was like there was more swing and miss in his game, but the power, the punch that we saw from Brett Baty in spring training or earlier in the season, like you said, in those first 100 plate appearances, just wasn't really there. And that would make sense with his comments about like saying the game's moving a little fast.
And you see guys extend the strike zone. You know that there's pressure on them, especially this was a Mets team that was under a lot of scrutiny early in the season, had a lot of pressure on them, wasn't meeting expectations. And he was a guy getting regular plate appearances in the middle of the batting order. You can kind of feel that he was pressing a little bit. And you've heard baseball players talk. And when you kind of start to expand the strike zone, that's a telltale sign of pressing.
Yeah.
Squeezing the bat too tight, thinking more than playing. And when you're at that position, that's not a good thing to do. And we kind of talked about when his baseball savant page went live, when he was finally qualified, how red his whole page was.
Looked great.
It did, and it kind of fell apart. And this chase rate and the whiff rate were the two big reasons why that led him striking out more and making worse contact, and he was still having his ground ball issues. The contact he was making wasn't as wasn't as powerful.
Wasn't as advantageous.
No. So and then him saying the game feels fast, you kind of do think you just need a breather. And I think that there's a lot of Mets fans, and we Mets fans, we're quick to jump on certain things. Yeah, we're very quick to jump in every direction. I think a lot of Mets fans are pretty disgruntled and think that, oh my God, Brett Baty, never going to be great. But you kind of look, it's very easy to look around the league and see that this prospect development, we say this to you guys almost every episode now, is not linear.
No.
You can look and find so many examples, both with the Mets and then just around baseball of the last 5 or so years of guys who've gone up and down and still found a ton of success in their careers.
No, I mean, there's a guy that used to play for this team, in particularly, that's having a pretty great MLB career with Michael Conforto, a guy who came up in 2015 during that World Series run.
Straight from AA.
Straight from AA was a big part of it, and then eventually got into those struggles. We remember the Madison Bumgarner game. Like, that ruined him, essentially, at that time. And then he got sent down. You go down, you work on stuff, you fix it. You almost just kind of get to play baseball, which is something that I think Brett Baty probably just needs to get back to a little bit. Not thinking about the situation, the pressure, playing in New York, whatever it is that is clearly making the game feel a little bit fast, and just go back to playing baseball. Because when we know he's playing is like just when he's comfortable and relaxed, he's playing his best baseball, and he's a very good baseball player.
And Conforto's a good example to compare Baty to for the way they've jumped around, because Brett Baty up to this point has only played 15 games in AAA.
It's nothing.
And a guy who came straight out of high school, even though he's 19 years old, and got caught up by the COVID year, losing that year of development. He's never played more than 90 games at any particular level of baseball in his career.
Wow.
Never. Never major league, never AA, never single A, never high, never low A, nowhere. He's never played more than 90 games at one level.
Sometimes you play more than 90 games in a summer,
right?
In club baseball.
This is a guy that moved very quickly through the system. And he moved very quickly because he seemed very advanced. He was taking pitches. He was getting to his power. He was just really advanced approach to the plate, especially for someone you're drafting out of high school. Not even someone out of college. Brett Baty is still 23 years old right now. There were players just taking the MLB draft who are about 6 months younger than Brett Baty.
Yeah.
Truly. There's players coming into the Mets system right now about the same age as Brady, going down to A-ball.
Yeah.
And he was in the major leagues, just played 86 games here. So I do think that there's definitely, again, development's not linear. There's a lot of directions you can go here. And it's not like get the tick of the point every single time. You get an achievement, you get one more point of power. It's not how it works. Look at a guy like, this is a really crazy example, but I think it's pertinent because it's happening right now. Luis Campusano is someone who was a marquee prospect as early as, 2018, 2019?
Like 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Right? And he's even still right now I think he's 24 years old. Fact check me on that
Okay,
one. Maybe
I'll look
25.
it up, yeah.
He has gone up and down majors and minors 4 times, with the most recent 4th time being on July 19th of this year.
24.
24. So he's only 24 years old. Think about it. You're only a year older than Baty. Which goes to show you, like, international high school guys, how much baseball they play, really, without playing as much as the college guys. But Campusano, since coming back up on July 19th, has a 350, 390, 580 slash with a 170 WRC plus. And that's not indicative of what he's going to do the rest of his career. But this is a guy that went up and down 4 times in his baseball career after being a marquee prospect. And right now, at 24, is finding his stride.
I mean, you could talk about C.J. Abrams, who's been up and down a couple times. He's playing really, really good baseball. Isaac Paredes, another guy who's been playing out of his mind for the Rays. He couldn't figure it out in Detroit whatsoever. Alec Bohm.
Even Paredes was sent down, also played minor league baseball with the Rays after he was traded. He's been up twice this year. Alec Bohm was great in 2020, about a 45-game sample when he came up. He was miserable in 2021, had to go back down to the minor leagues to end that year for offense as much as defense. And then even 2022, he got a full year to play again and was still worse than league average. So 3 years into the majors, now his 4th year, he's really seeming to come into his own here.
And he played in college at Wichita State.
There you go. So this prospect stuff, this isn't just like you get on the track and you go. That's not how it works. But I do think that there's still so much in Brett Baty's profile. There's so many things he does well that I really would caution Mets fans not to overreact to this demotion.
Yeah, Keith, before the game when they were talking about it, I feel like gave a really good soundbite that I hope Brett could somehow get to listen to, because Keith was like, listen, like I got all the confidence in the world in this kid. Like, I've seen him play. He's a great baseball player, but things just seem like they're moving too fast. Go down, relax, take it easy, play baseball, play the game that you know how to play, because that's what got you here. Everybody saw the way that you hit, saw the way that you were patient at the plate, played third base, whatever it was. That's what got you to the majors. Go back, find how to play like that again, and you will be back in no time doing great things. So I thought that was really cool to hear from Keith Hernandez, who's one of the best Mets players of all time.
Definitely. And I mean, who better to hear about the path of development, someone who had a crazy path of development himself.
Yeah.
Like Keith Hernandez, talk about him. Like, he, in his early 30s, he seemed like he was a guy who was kind of on his last legs of his baseball career. And then he came and had an amazing second prime with the Mets, led him to the World Series, won the first Silver Slugger, I believe, in team history, did a lot of great things, became a captain. Like, baseball's not a straight line. It's not how it happens.
We've been spoiled with guys who have come up and instantly been great. just as baseball fans in general, or even on this team, Francisco Alvarez being one of them. Like, he's so good at such a young age. But like you said, like, it's just not that easy. Mike Trout had a horrible first year in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge looked horrendous. Like, there's countless scenarios where you look at these young players that get their first chance or first real shot, and they can't figure it out until a little bit later.
Even the second shot, even the third shot. Right now, Luis Campusano's on the fourth shot. It looks like he could be a shot in the arm. To be a little corny right there for the Padres playoff push.
Yeah, they're making a scary push there.
Yeah, but that's the Brett Baty spiel. So everyone keep believing in Brett Baty. Keep an eye on Brett Baty.
He'll be
Don't
back.
worry about it. He'll be back very soon. He'll be a good ball player. But now jump into the series because Mets did just win a series against the Cubs.
Yeah, and I mean, Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso owns the Cubs and has been smoking the ball recently. Every single game this series, just playing phenomenally well.
Yeah, this game one for Pete was one of his best of the entire year. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 hard hit balls in this one. 2 of those over 105 miles an hour. I dropped that stat on you guys about how infrequently Pete had 2 batted balls in one game that were over 105 miles an hour while he had the wrist thing going on. This is now his 3rd game with 2 batted balls in play over 105 miles an hour since July 25th.
Yeah, and I mean, I see the stats that you put in here. He's literally been great all year except for the 2 months, basically.
And the 2 months were really only about 30 games.
And sprinkled in with a little injury in there as well. It's not like it was just like this whole thing.
Hi, guys.
Hey, John, welcome back.
You just said it's been 2 months, and then you're like, yeah, it's like 30 games, so it's 1 month.
Well, because he missed 3 weeks.
All-Star
2 weeks.
All-Star break, you know.
Yeah, you know what I mean, John. 2 months of time. Time moves slow at this time, no, John?
Time isn't linear.
Time is not linear.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
But while we're going to stop getting meta on you guys for a second. But from opening day, 2-piece wrist injury in Atlanta, he had 22 home runs in 61 games with a 137 WRC plus and 19% strikeout rate. From that Braves injury to the end of the White Sox series, which was, 4 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago now? 4 home runs in 27 games, or 2 months, as John would like to put it, with a 62 WRC plus and 25% strikeout rate. And then since then, this is updated now with today, 9 home runs in 18 games. It was a 211 WRC plus coming into the game on Wednesday,
higher.
and a 16% strikeout rate, which is going lower.
He's blazing hot. And it's just, it really shows how this offense moves when like him and Lindor are swinging it.
Yeah.
They just put up a lot of runs. It's just kind of how it works.
They do, especially with Alvarez up there in that 2 spot where he seems to be very, very comfortable there.
Love him there. Love him.
In that game as well on Monday, Lindor, 3 hits, 3 runs scored, and 3 balls in play over 100 miles an hour. So that's now the 3rd time he's done that in 3 weeks.
Noticeably hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, and another one for John here. Xander Bogaerts only done that twice in his entire career.
Why are you taking shots at me?
And I'm just saying.
Just
I'm
saying.
Why are you taking shots?
No reason in particular.
no,
Two very
particular.
good shortstops. The Mets got themselves a great shortstop.
There you
so
go. Yeah,
That's right, John. They do got themselves a
the
great
better
one.
The better one, right?
the better one, 100%.
There you go.
That's right. There you
Got
go.
it, John. And then
The
Alvarez.
best shortstop in the sport. How about that?
And then Alvarez in this game, a hit, a walk, 2 runs scored, and 3 hard hit balls. So the middle of the Mets order was really crushing my guy, Drew Smyly, and it was really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because Drew Smyly, we know, has been known to throw a gem against the Mets for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So being able to smack him around was really, really nice, especially in a just such a bizarre game because the rain that came in after Kodai had a great start. Just, I can't even believe they played that game afterwards. It was so late.
No, it was like that's the second game the Mets have been resumed like after 11 o'clock at night in the last 2 weeks. I'm sure you guys, all the full-time folks here, must really enjoy that.
I enjoyed it. Did you guys watch the resumption from when they came back to the
Yes.
final?
I did not actually.
No, you missed Danny Mendick's home run.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
no, it's your favorite player.
I know. I was psyched.
Mark sent the text.
Were you jumping up in the booth?
Yeah, it was a big moment. It was great.
Getting high fives around from
Yeah.
everybody?
Cub killer. I mean,
Really?
well, he played cross town, so a lot of exposure.
Yeah,
but
that's
good career numbers against the Chicago Cubs.
Mets really just hammered Cubs pitching in this game. They had 11 balls in play over 100 miles an hour. Just power all over the place. We talked about Pete, Lindor, Alvarez, and top of that, Kodai Senga. Another really good start.
Just a good pitcher.
Just a really good pitcher.
Straight up good. He has the 3rd lowest ERA in the National League.
Yeah, and I think the 9th best strikeout, 4th best strikeout rate. And those
That's
are
sick.
And that's the 10th best ERA in all of baseball and the 9th best strikeout rate in all of baseball.
Pretty
He's-
gross.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie. That fork ball, ghost fork, is absolutely disgusting. Sorry, it's not a fork ball.
Yeah,
It's a ghost fork ball.
Ghost fork, yeah. And that ghost fork got 7 whiffs on 11 swings. That put its whiff rate up to 58.9%, which is still the best whiff rate on any individual pitch in the league. But little bad thing here. Ian Happ got the 6th hard hit ball off the ghost fork all year.
Oh, no.
At 97.3 mile an hour single.
He did it.
He did it.
He did it. A
Yes.
single. Congratulations,
And
Ian Happ.
Suzuki got one of them too in the series we played in Wrigley. So the Cubs have 2 of the 6 hard hit balls off the ghost fork all year.
Interesting. Say Suzuki had a good little series.
It's a good little ball player.
He's a good ball player, and they don't even play him every day, which is kind of
No,
crazy.
it doesn't make any sense. And last thing about Senga, this cutter is becoming a huge part of his repertoire. He dropped such a nice backdoor one on Christopher Morel in the 2nd inning. He was really pinpointing that low and outside corner against the righties all game. Third time in 6 starts, that's been his most thrown pitch. So it seems like this cutter is going to be the new thing that's pushing Kodai Senga forward.
No, I was watching that game. We're like, oh man, there they are.
Yeah,
they're the Mets.
Yeah, no.
They're the Mets. They're the Cubs because the Cubs such a fake good team.
The Cubs are a fake good team. They just throw a lot of stuff at you. You know,
They are. You know what they are? They're like super average.
yeah. As the season keeps going on, you kind of feel like the wild card teams. The wild card teams you felt like were going to be there a month ago,
Starting
and that
to
were
shift.
the Phillies, the Giants, and the Padres. Very clearly, the next 3 best teams in the National League behind the winners. John's Marlins are completely falling apart at the seams. Cincinnati Reds, they might have a hot streak in them, but it's been tough recently. And the Cubs also, like the Cubs bullpen leaves so much to be desired.
So
Their
bad.
starting rotation, it's so blah.
Although your boy Jamison Tyone
Great game.
did dice us up
Yeah,
in game 2.
best start of the season. He's actually been hot recently. He had a really bad start to the year.
Well,
Miserably bad.
They were
start to the
talking about
year.
it on the broadcast, and they were saying that Tyone, when they signed him for like 78. They came in, they're like, hey, change your pitch that's like you're really good with your curveball. Let's change it to a sweeping curve. It was terrible. It was part of the reason why I struggled. He went back to the old curveball, and I mean, as we saw in game 2, he's been filthy since then. It just makes me like ask the question: if you gave the guy $80 million, why did you be like, you know what, change something? Even though we just paid you all this money, we think you're not doing it right.
Yeah, see that his sweeper is way up and the slider's way down this year. Well, the curveball's been consistent, interesting. And I mean, you talk about Tyon being a guy. I love Tyon. I've always loved the pitch mix. The fact that he was such a high pick. He's gone through 2 Tommy John surgeries and actually gotten back from them and been good. And he also battled testicular cancer in the minor leagues. The perseverance of this
He's a
guy to
dog.
fight through what he's gotten through. He is a dog. He's a complete dog. He's been on 3 different teams now. And he looks like he's just kind of going to settle into this nice little back end of his career. I know the stats look very bad, but you can see the adjustments. You can see how hard of a worker he is. You can see how much of a bulldog he is on the mound. Like, he's a guy who you kind of want in any clubhouse.
Carrasco, too, bit of a bulldog. Had a nice little start through 5 innings for the Mets there. He got pulled right before things started to get a little bit ugly for him, which was good timing, I think.
Yeah.
Pete hit that first inning home run because, of course, he did, because he's Pete Alonso against the Cubs, and he owns them. John, maybe you could pull up some Pete stats against the Cubs for his career, because I know they are
Ridiculous.
disgusting.
Did you guys see what we did on the board tonight?
I don't know.
Game
We were
3?
walking around a bit.
Got it. So I found this morning. Pete entered the game with 1 home run in roughly every 6.6 career at-bats against the Cubs.
Wow.
The only player in MLB history with a better rate against Chicago.
Mark McGuire.
That is correct.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice.
That is correct. And
Good
that
pull.
rate is the best in Mets history. The second best rate was every 9 at-bats, Robin Ventura against the Pirates. So head and shoulders above the competition. He had big home runs against the Cubs. His rookie year, they went to Wrigley. It was, I think, late June. He had a home run that surpassed Darryl Strawberry for the single-season Mets rookie record. And then, James, you know what I'm going to say?
No,
Is that a very famous
all I was
series in
gonna say
Chicago?
is
Yes,
that,
it is.
That series in Chicago
Yes,
ended
it is.
poorly.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
I believe Javi Baez had a big home run that Sunday.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. But then Pete set the Mets single-season home run record here at Citi Field
Yes.
with a home run against Yu Darvish
I was at that
in
game.
late August. That
Yeah.
series kind of was the end of that season.
Yeah,
Also.
also-
I'll never
really
forget
bad.
Victor
Yeah.
Caratini hitting 2 home
Against
runs
DeGrom.
off Jake
I was
DeGrom.
at that game too.
My cousins from Greece were here, and I was at Sephora with them, and thank goodness I got to miss that one.
You know, this is funny. Having this game tonight, it kind of felt like we were looking through a parallel universe of where the Mets were last year when the Cubs came to town, and how that series kind of felt like the beginning of bad times then. I think that was right when Vito started here. That was when I was doing the 9 hot dogs.
Oh,
Oh, heck yeah. Good times.
and the Cubs came and really just made us be like, what's going on with this team right now? Like, something felt wrong.
Yeah.
And now we kind of just probably opened the Cubs' eyes to the fact that they might not really be in as good a spot as they thought they were a week ago either.
No. And for the rest of that game, not much. Narvaez got an extra base hit.
Yeah, the only one after Pete in the first inning.
Yep, and smoked it over. Was it Talkman in right field's head?
Yeah,
the
Talkman.
Sockman.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout, yeah. Mike Trout, of course.
It's amazing that now twice in 4 summers we've had like summers of Talkman.
Might just be good.
Yeah, where he's just gonna hit like double-digit home runs and have like an 850 OPS and play really good defense in the outfield.
What do you got, John?
I do want to shout out one thing that happened game 2. So I'm not a big wrestling guy at all. I don't know if you guys are.
I'm not.
Not at all.
But LA Knight was here, big WWE superstar, and got to shout out Vito, who told me that he grew up wanting to be a wrestler writer, like writing storylines, and I didn't know that.
Whoa.
I did.
And we had LA Knight, and we were like, we want to do something cool. And Vito came up with great storylines. We did a whole in-game thing. It was really cool. So if you were here, you saw it. LA Knight was great. Mike Janela was great. And Vito was super creative. So
Wrestling writer.
Yeah, I did not want to be a wrestler. I wanted to write for wrestling because it seemed less taxing on the body.
It's definitely.
Of course.
And there's a lot of wrestlers don't live long. So, and as a 7-year-old, I thought about that weirdly.
were you really? You were thinking about mortality back when you were set?
That's deep.
That also feels like a lot that happens outside the ring rather than inside the ring. Like
Yeah.
Ric Flair not living long. I mean, I think he's actually still alive. Ric Flair's a legend of the game, but I think that's more about what else happened than what did happen inside there.
I do want to say John learned wrestling terms so well. He was in meetings with
I'm a
WWE
sponge.
people.
I'm a sponge. What can I say?
Give us a term, John.
Oh, if you're a good guy, you're a face.
There
And if
you
you're
go.
a bad guy, you're a heel.
Yeah.
I was
There you
gonna
go.
walk in here because I was a little late to the show. I was gonna come here, do a little shimmy, like a little, have my wrestling entrance, something
What's
like
your
that.
what's your favorite term now?
Yeah.
What's my favorite term?
No, your phrase. The phrase.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
That's LA Knight's thing.
All
We
right.
just say it all the time.
Dude, LA Knight was great. He wore a ripped sleeves jersey, had a ball at the game.
It's a big dude.
He's a buff kid.
He eats like every hour and a half, 2 hours, I think.
Really?
You got it. You can't let your body go into metabolic shock, right, Brian? Right? Brian knows what I'm talking about.
Shout out, Brian.
But big shout out, Mike Janela crushed it. I mean, it was such a fun night.
It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I'm a wrestling guy now. I'm about to make wrestling my whole personality.
That's
Okay. You know, usually what you do when you got a
We'll
daughter.
find out. We'll find out. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
check in
I'm
a
gonna be
week.
giving my daughter the old whatever, name a move.
Suplex.
Like the Bills fans when they're born, the baby's
Yes.
going through the
Hey,
table.
Through the cute table. Almost football season. Listeners are going to love that. But I guess we come on again Wednesday. A little less action at the stadium with
Yeah.
LA Knight. But we're playing a fun game. I think we're going to try and play with you guys the rest of the season. Mark and I made our own Immaculate Grid game.
Yes.
Can we use that term? Is that a trademark?
Immaculate Grid. No, you're good.
All right, we're gonna play some Mets Immaculate Grid. We got some really fun people come out center field, play with us. Some TikTok's gonna come out soon. TikTok's been active too, if you guys been keeping track on that. But look out for us in center field the rest of the season. Hit us up on Twitter if you want to play, because we're gonna be here for a bunch of games and we're gonna have some fun games for you guys.
Definitely. And that was fun to meet everybody before game 3. We met someone who was a viewer from the first ever episode.
Yeah.
Ben. I think it might be Ben. I think it's
I
Ben.
feel awful.
He knows who it is. It's been a long night.
Hey,
but
Ben, tweet. Maybe Ben, tweet when you hear this.
Yeah,
and
maybe
just say your
Ben.
name.
Maybe Ben. Let us
Name's
know.
probably like Dylan or something like
No,
that.
it wasn't Dylan. It wasn't Dylan. I don't know.
This is bad.
I think it was Ben.
Good podcasting.
Ah, that's a good podcast.
I'm going with Ben. Ben, you know who you are. It's nice meeting you.
Your mom filled in the bottom corner of the Immaculate Grid.
Yes.
I think McNeil. That's a bit.
Yes,
It's a
it
Rumble
was.
Pony outfielder or something, or Terry Collins something. I don't know.
But yeah, that was a great way to start the day. It was fun. A lot of
It was
fun.
fun. Yeah, it was also a beautiful day at the ballpark. These
Great
last
day.
couple days of weather have been immaculate. New York, weirdly, I know I'm the jinx, but like there's never been this good of an August in New York.
It's gonna pour tomorrow. When you guys
okay.
are listening to this, it's gonna be torrential downpour, no
Yeah.
matter what. But yeah, Pete, another home run like we mentioned. Jeff got the home run as well. Pete, 9 home runs in 18 games, which is
Ridiculous.
just
Power surge.
I mean, when he's locked in, he's locked in.
Yeah.
And it seems like feeling probably a little more healthy with the wrist, along with the home run derby gets that guy right.
I don't know. It's also this Cubs pitching staff. They're such soft tossers.
Bad.
They just all throw breaking balls low and like fastballs mid. So he's just gonna go down there and do his favorite thing and just hit one up and out.
They do live low.
They
They
do.
have to because they don't throw hard.
Exactly. That's kind of the organizational philosophy. That's why Pete always
Wow.
crushes them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right?
It just clicked in my brain. They
There you
connected
go.
the wires.
We got a question from John here coming in with some trivia. Since 2000, only 4 Mets have hit 4+ home runs in a series of 2 or 3 games. Can you name them?
Kirk Neuenhuis.
No.
Okay.
But that's a good thought
Yeah.
because,
Daniel Murphy?
Nope.
Curtis Granderson?
Yoenis
No.
Cespedes.
No. They hit 3 home runs in a game twice, but nope.
Wow, this is hit 4+ in a series. Let's go
Delgado.
with
Nope.
What?
Mike Piazza.
No.
Beltran.
Yes. Beltran did it in 06.
Did we say
against the
David Wright?
Braves.
Yeah, you just
David
did.
Wright, not one.
I'm
David Wright in the ballpark tonight too.
yeah,
was.
My memory has been
My
bad.
parents saw him in the Piazza Club. My mom said hi. He said hi back.
Apparently, he was great on both TV and the radio as
Yes.
well.
I think it was the first time post-career that he got to come to a game here with his children.
Huh?
Yeah, because he was here for the Hall of Fame ceremony. I don't know if they were here or not.
I heard
but
of
They
they're
were
Very-
not. It was just him and his wife. This was the first time he got to come with his kids to a game.
very
Heard
cool.
a very wholesome bite while I was in the bathroom, and I think Howie was talking to him about just like his son and growing up and playing baseball, all that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, if he wants to play baseball like great, that's great. He's like, I just hope he's a good kid. Like, I hope he's respectful and treats others nice. I was like, what a wholesome guy. How do you not like David Wright? He's the man.
Shout out David Wright. I love David Wright so much.
Just a classy man.
He's just so good. Such
Awesome.
a good guy.
That's your guy, right? That's your favorite Met
yes,
ever.
that's my guy for sure.
That's a good one to have.
Who we need what? We need 2 more of these?
Mike
Mike
Jacobs.
No.
Mike Cameron.
No, not Mike. He had a 4 home run game once,
the
but that was
Mariners,
with the
with the
Mariners.
Mike
Mariners.
Jacobs had quite a series in Arizona. I'll never forget.
Lucas Duda.
Lucas Duda, yes.
Ike Davis.
Ike Davis, no. Lucas Duda. I think you were thinking about Ike Davis when you said Mike Jacobs because he
No.
had a game in Arizona, no?
Mike
Jacobs
Jacobs
had a game in Arizona.
series in Arizona.
He did.
Yeah?
Like
he
a
had.
weekend.
He
Was
might
that
have
when?
had
Was that when
3.
he homered and then they flew him out there? He stayed on the team. Pedro went to management. Was like,
Yep.
you got to keep him.
Yep.
How old were you then?
I was.
That was
that's
05.
2004, 2005.
That was
8 years
05.
old.
I would have been like 7 or 8.
Okay.
No, 9.
You guys need to
yeah.
know John's been facing mortality a lot lately, and like every now and then we'll have a moment where he thinks about his age. So that was one of those
What,
where he asked you how old.
46, 47 now?
Something around there, yeah.
John, if you remember, Mike Jacobs was a Cyclone.
Thank you. I
It
know.
took
You
you
saw
too
him in
long to
01,
say
I know.
Lucas
Thank you.
Duda. You guys need to know with
I
him.
know, it's always Lucas Duda.
Duda's his
Always
immaculate
Duda.
grid. That's Rich Hill.
We had a immaculate grid today. The immaculate
Yeah.
grid we did a Lucas Duda square for John.
Let's not
Thank you.
tell John though, because I still want John to do the immaculate.
He was
grid.
gonna get it.
I know, but I want him to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Today's
But-
grid angered me.
Yeah. Wait, who's the 4th guy on this list?
Yeah. Who are we
Not
missing?
that long ago.
Not that
So
long
it's
ago.
it's Pete, Beltran, Lucas Duda, and Lindor. The Yankee series.
Oh, Yankee series. Yeah.
3 homer game.
3
runs.
home game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then he homered on Friday also. That series.
did.
He's been a beast. Lindor's
Oh.
awesome.
There was also a really cool play at the end of this game in the 9th inning with Francisco Alvarez. You guys should check
Yes.
out the tweet from Kodai. They did it really well.
Minutia.
He was, with 3 seconds left in the pitch clock, Phil Bickford had just come in the game, new Met, probably not that type of communication yet that they have. Francisco Alvarez put his fingers, his hand above his helmet, started snapping a lot at Phil Bickford. Well, he was doing a really slow wind-up, looking down, looking back
I wonder
up.
if that's to get the pitch calm.
I think it's just for him to look.
Oh, okay.
And then once it got to 1 second, he didn't do anything, and there were men on, and he was in a 2-strike count, so he didn't want to lose the advantage. And Francisco Alvarez put his hand up and started sprinting to the mound.
Fast.
Complete beeline right to Phil Bickford in the mound. And he got off from the didn't get a pitch clock violation.
And Phil Bickford got the save.
He did. First save as
Phil
a Met.
Bickford, first save as a Met. 2 fun facts about Phil Bickford. Gave up the 700th home run to Albert Pujols. I was there. And he was drafted twice in the first round. One of the few people that's ever happened to.
You know what that means?
He's got a live arm.
Live arm.
Live
He's a big
arm.
prospect. He was traded for Will Smith, right?
Don't know about that.
Which Will Smith?
The
Yeah.
lefty reliever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He
he
almost
was
got me scared.
He was a first round
I
pick
think
by I
for-
think the Blue Jays and the Giants. So
Yes.
you just don't hear about that too often. Cal State Fullerton and
Yeah.
CSUN, College of Southern Nevada.
And he's got a good 4-seam fastball. He's got a good. It's got really good movement, really good hop on it. So I mean, it's something to work with.
Yeah, no, good series for the Mets.
Yeah.
A win.
One. This is a crazy stat that John just dropped on us too. Mets are 134-1 when leading after 8 since the start of last season.
I said that in the control room in the 9th inning, and
And
people.
how mad did people get?
Oh, they got mad. I
You're
also
the
said this
worst.
game is flying, and then someone got
so
hit.
close.
worst. You're the worst.
Everyone got mad
Still
about
here.
that.
Thanks, John. What's the one?
It was.
You don't want to talk
I'll
about
talk
it.
about it in a second when we get to estimate.
You don't want to
Okay.
talk about it.
Oh, I remember now.
Yeah, come on,
Why'd I say
dude.
that?
Come on, man. Well,
It's a good transition.
just give us the estimate then. Rip it off.
All right, here we go. Braves Mets. First time since that series. The what was it, June 6th to 8th? I think it was that week in Atlanta. And you talked about the Pete injury, and there was really no retaliation at all at that point in time.
No,
The Mets get hit a lot by pitchers naturally.
a lot.
So I'm not calling for anything. I have no idea what's going to happen, but a different one. How many hit batsmen will there be in this series? 4 games because we have a day-night doubleheader on Saturday.
So you said players hit by pitch?
Yep, total hit batsmen in the series.
Total hit
John
batsman.
switched on us. This wasn't the estimate when we started the episode.
No, for sure wasn't. I tried to come in with a sneaky one at one point, but I not knowing the pitching. But I guess it's 4 guys since there's 4 games. You got the doubleheader on Saturday. Pretty much everyone's gonna have to pitch, and I think Max Fried pitched tonight, which means that he's probably not pitching in this series.
He has the most overrated starting pitcher in baseball.
So you're gonna probably get Spencer Strider, Charlie Morton, Bryce Elder throw it again,
Yanni
and
Chirinos.
Chirinos.
Chirinos is the scheduled starter for Sunday. There's right now no scheduled starter for the second game on Saturday.
Okay, and I guess they bring up Jared Schuster.
Has Elder
and-
been pitching?
What?
Elder?
Elder has been pitching. I think
Yeah,
he's
he
on the
pitched
active
last
roster.
Saturday. He might pitch on Friday.
He's the most fake good pitcher of all time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fake good pitchers out there. He's definitely the worst of them.
Okay, hit by pitch. I got a number.
Yeah, I guess I got one too.
Braves kind of dive over the plate. Ronald Acuna loves to get hit and like really whine about it.
Ronald Acuna doesn't love to get hit and whine about. And Ronald Acuna loves to have nothing to happen to him and act like he has just been like shot by a sniper.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
Ronald Acuna will like stub his toe and then flail on the ground for 9 minutes and act like the world is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember him and Jose Urena?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was electric.
That was kind of fun though.
Got a YouTube video that is now.
I don't think it's going to
private.
happen anymore.
Nice. That was fun. I mean, hey, we're fans of the Acuna family in this podcast.
Oh, Luis Angel.
Yeah, the story that came out about Luis Angel and Ronald having, I believe he said it was a $5,000 bet on who would steal more bases this year. And Luis Angel has, I think, 5 already since coming to the Mets organization.
Let's
To bring
go.
that close.
He
Get
stole
that money.
3 on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and that story dropped Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
And
Then
the-
that night he went out and stole 3.
Yeah, stole 3 bases.
That's how bad it is for Ronald Acuna since the Braves screwed him and paid him no money. He's making bets with his brothers in the minor leagues.
I know. Imagine that. His brother's probably almost as much money as him. It's a real shame. I mean, it's an organization like the Braves. You would think that they take care of their stars. Like, I really hope that's not something that really tears this locker room apart.
No, I can
in
never
the near
imagine.
future. It'd be
Never.
terrible if it did.
Tension? Never.
Yeah, because I mean, like, how much money? Like 50 million. He's like already has over 50 steals. That's a terrible ratio. Of, you know, he should probably just quit. Like,
You should probably request a trade.
yeah, he should request a trade. There's no
Go out.
reason for him to do that.
Go play for the Mariners.
Respect
or something.
himself a little bit.
If he has respect for the game,
Yeah.
he'll get paid more.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, hits by pitch. I got a number.
Hits by pitch.
Pitch by pitch.
Yeah, I got some.
Got a
too.
number? All right. John counts down.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
4.
Five.
Wow, so close every
Arbitrary.
time.
want.
Arbitrary numbers.
Yeah.
We're close every time.
That's what we want.
So, James, I said 4. Mark said 5.
Someone has to win.
Someone has to win.
Someone has to win, and you pulled it
And-
within one.
I pulled within 1 after all the lefty-lefty matchups that came in the Cubs series here.
How many were there in total? 3?
There are
There
three,
were
yeah,
3 hits. I think there were
yeah.
like 7 at bats.
Nice.
So you would have needed 1,000 batting average to win.
Would have been impossible.
That's
But
how
yeah,
it goes.
What can I say?
previewing the Braves. I mean, we know them. They're
Yeah.
good. This team, like, okay, we have our fun. We like to take shots at the Braves. Best team in baseball, probably.
No, they have the best record in baseball. Not the best team in baseball.
Who is?
I look, it's not them.
That's fair. All right.
say
You know,
that.
respect.
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Who is it?
It would be the Rangers if it's not them, probably.
It's the Braves.
I'll take the Orioles.
I mean, we know, John. Shh, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Like,
no, I
Oh.
mean the Braves.
Wink,
The Braves
wink,
are a pretty
nod,
good team, but they have a rotation full of guys who cannot pitch in a big moment.
Max Fried's pitched in some pretty big moments. Charlie Morton.
Yeah, I guess
Don't
Charlie.
make me do
Moore-
this, James.
Charlie
Come
Moore.
on.
Charlie Moore's the real one. But
Spencer
Charlie,
Strider has
Charlie
never
Moore's
pitched in a
Mr.
big
Game
moment.
7.
Yeah, that's
Charlie
what I'm
Moore.
saying.
Charlie Moore's a big game pitcher. I take that all back.
But
Charlie
you know
Moore's a
who's
huge big game
never
pitcher.
pitched in a big game and also stinks against the Mets? That big-footed fraud, Spencer Strider.
Yeah, it's Spencer Strider, the hippie.
And his giant feet.
Spencer Strider, I don't think a lot of people know this, but huge hippie.
Yeah.
He massive fan of Indy, loves the Strokes.
The Strokes, big Mets fans.
Julian Casablancas, huge Mets fan. Many songs about the Mets. He wrote a song, I think it was called Ode to the Mets, Julian Casablancas of the Strokes. On the 7 train, he said, coming back from the 2016 wildcard loss against the Giants.
Why are we bringing all these sad times up?
Did I ever tell you guys I used to play pickup basketball with him?
No.
You?
Yeah.
Wow, where?
Chelsea Pierce.
Why you say you like that? Why are you so disgusted?
No, I just-
Vito's
I
got a
didn't-
wet J.
There's no doubting Vito's acumen.
I don't know. I just told you that.
John's just giggling so much when he said that.
He took private baseball lessons at Chelsea Piers.
Wow.
And he would just like come hang out with us and like play pickup basketball.
Could he hoop?
Wait,
Yeah.
how young was this? He was taking private lessons?
Like as an adult.
So he was like in his like 30s taking private baseball lessons?
practice.
Yeah, yeah. In the
respect
batting
the
cages.
hell out of that.
That's kind of awesome.
I respect that. He loves ball.
That'd be really cool, like having a sick album, like going on an amazing tour, and coming back being like,
I'm gonna work on my game.
I want to learn how to hit a curveball. Like, why not?
What's it do for a softball game, you think?
Oh, it's probably awesome.
He's gotta be pretty good at it.
Yeah, wow. I'd love to talk to Julian Casablancas one day. He's awesome.
God, I hate the Braves.
Yeah, this Braves team. Matt also has 100 RBIs for some reason.
And 40 home runs.
Somehow, like Freddie Freeman's having the best year of his career, and the Braves like don't even miss him,
Don't miss him in the slightest.
which is so rude. They don't miss like one of the best players in their franchise history.
Braves have like 2 of the 5 best catchers in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, one of them we know pretty well. One of them we're going to know pretty well. Also, you know, you have to. In life's all about second chances, and the Braves gave two of those to Marcelo Ozuna, and he's having a good year. He's 23 home runs.
Yeah, he plays way too much. I mean, Michael Harris was struggling the last time we played them, and he was bad. And of course, he got hot, and now he's been
Good.
hot for a while.
Yeah.
Orlando Arcia has cooled off a little bit, hasn't he?
He's still playing tremendous shortstop.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy that he's the shortstop instead of that fraud Vaughn Grissom that we know is going to be a hell of a left fielder one day.
One day he's gonna
One
play
day he's
left
going to be a
field.
great left fielder. But right now he has stone hands and noodle arm. He's still in the minor leagues.
How's Nicky Lopez going to hurt us? That's my question.
Nicky Lopez, this is something that flew pretty under the radar around the trade deadline because it was so random. It actually happened right after we were in the studio that Sunday after the Scherzer trade episode. But the Braves acquired Taylor Hearn from the Kansas City Royals after Hearn, I believe, was DFA'd for cash considerations.
Yeah.
2 days later, they flipped Taylor Hearn, who was just acquired by them off the scrap heap for nothing, for a player, Nicky Lopez, who was like a 2-win, 3-win utility player, doesn't strike out, plays really good defense, every spot in the infield. No power, of course.
2025.
Yeah, with two more full years of team control for literally nothing. A lot of very smart people called it one of the worst trades in baseball history, which is really funny to say. And
The
also-
Royal side.
Yeah, the Royal side, of course. Just the fact that they gave the Braves like a free utility man who's in his prime for nothing.
Follows me on Twitter. That's
Really?
probably going to be a quick unfollow if I had to guess.
Yeah, well, why?
Well, because he's on the Braves.
I guess.
Lot
Yeah.
of
Oh, you're
pro-
going to unfollow him.
No, he's going to have to unfollow me. He's
Oh.
got to do it first.
Well, check if he has.
Let's see. Yeah,
Let's
we'll
see if
see.
he has.
We'll see live if Nicky Lopez has yet unfollowed me. Taiwan Walker hasn't yet unfollowed me. Nope, still follows me. Nicky Lopez. Respect. A lot of baseball coming up here with the Braves. I
Yeah, 4
am.
games. It's so weird because just a year after we won 4 out of 5 from them, that huge series at Citi
Yeah.
Field last summer. Oh, it hurts.
who's your least favorite Brave not named Chipper Jones of all time?
Oh, of all time?
Yeah.
Oh my
There's
God.
one Braves player that I have a special place in my heart for. I really like him.
I hated Julio.
Armando Galarraga. Or not, Andres Galarraga, my bad.
That's like before our time, though. But I hated Julio Teheran. Hated him.
Yeah.
You know
Good
who else
pickoff move. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, really good pickoff move.
A variety? It's impressive. I don't even know why, but like back in the day, I used to, because now I like him looking back in his career, but I hated Rafael Furcal. He was such a pest.
Yeah, I
He did
hated
so
him.
many annoying things.
Marcus Giles. Really hated Marcus Giles.
I heard he's a big sleepwalker. Marcus Giles.
is a
Sleepwalker?
big sleepwalker. There's
Yeah.
got to be
I
an
have that
inside
on. I
story
have that
there.
on good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to wake him up.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
That's what I mean.
That's the worst thing you can do.
I spoke to a former manager of Major League Baseball recently who was telling me that they hate Greg Maddux because he cheated openly.
Scandalous.
Said that he cut the ball up quite a bit.
Ooh, scandalous.
You ain't cheating. You ain't trying. You know who mine is?
Who's?
He really. I don't even know how many games he played for the Braves, but he was a Brave. It's Francisco Cervelli.
Ooh, yeah. Francisco Cervelli's annoying.
No, dude, I could not stand
Annoying.
Francisco Cervelli. Like in
I-
2011 when he was Yankee catcher. Oh, God, I hate
He was
him.
a real heads up player. He did this thing where, like on a high pitch, he'd pretend like it went behind him and like go fake run for it, so that
Yeah.
hopefully a guy. He was a smart ball player. Heads up.
You know who else I always despised? Now I hate him so much more. Smoltz. Ooh, can't stand him.
Tough.
Oh,
Tough listen.
Also, like again, he signed with the Mets, so it changed it a little bit, even after 2007. But I really didn't like Tom Glavine when I was
Yeah,
a
I
little
was
kid.
about to bring him
Tom
up.
Glavine made me mad when I was like 6 years old.
Yeah, he made me pretty
I have
frustrated.
a hot take. Tom Glavine's Met career was not as bad as people like to know. There were moments that were bad.
Cut his mic.
There were moments that were bad, but like
yeah,
he
moments,
actually.
John, moments that were
Yeah.
bad.
Remember Ryan Langerhans?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
like him either.
And Matt Diaz.
Oh, Matt Diaz. Ooh.
Ryan Langerhans followed me on Twitter and immediately unfollowed
See what I
me.
did? I just totally changed
No,
topic
John.
right there.
That day in 2007 at the time was the worst day of my life.
That was bad. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy with Tom Glavine at
Hell,
that
I
moment.
was 11 years old.
Yeah,
that was as bad as it got.
Your world's crumbling.
Oh
at
my
that
God.
point.
I had like a child. I think I've told a story in the podcast before, but I knew listeners out there. I had like a child's rocking chair, like a little small one I had since I was a baby. And I picked it up over my head, 11 years old. I still fit in it. I'm a small guy now. I was always a small kid. Picked it up over my head and smashed it on the ground. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm really mad.
I don't know what to do.
I have anger. I don't know how to get rid of it."
You were the opposite of that little kid today at the Mets game.
Yeah,
He
I
had
was,
a lot of-
well, I was probably like that in August.
yeah.
I was probably at the Mets game doing the exact same thing in August.
Did you have as much ice cream though? That's the real
Definitely not. My
question.
parents were not big. They weren't going to give me that much ice cream. They knew better. Here's a really sneaky one I always hated. Jorge Sosa.
Ooh.
Hated
Great,
Jorge
he was a
Sosa.
good
was a
Met.
Mets, though?
Yeah, in 07 he was
Yeah,
a
he
Met.
did.
He was a great reliever.
But I didn't
Yes,
like
he
him back
was.
then.
He started
Yeah.
a few games.
At 2004, 2005 with the Braves. I really hated them.
Yeah. Man, they got a lot of guys I just hated.
I hate this organization, but
I'd love to beat them.
we
Like Kevin Millwood.
We could do a whole half hour on how much we hate every guy in the Braves. McCann, Hardo, but we just got into this episode.
Can I
to get
say
out of
somebody
here.
I like?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
I love Jeff Francoeur, and I'll never
Alright.
stop
Frenchie.
loving him.
Frenchie was a Met. That's
Frenchie
understandable.
was nice. He's good in the booth, too.
Kelly Johnson was a good Met. He had a big little run for us in 15.
Yeah. Wilson Bedament. You can't really hate Wilson Bedament.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
know.
I guess I don't hate Wilson Bediment. Feels like a great way to end talking about the Braves. We just brought up Wilson Bediment.
Mike Remlinger.
All right, so that was this episode of the Mets'd podcast. Thank you
Fly
guys.
on my cup.
Oh, there is. Thank you guys for listening. We're getting crazy here. James talking about flies. Follow us on all our social media at Mets'd on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe to the New York Mets YouTube channel so you can see the video version of this. We're having fun. You're going to want to watch this. If you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Odyssey, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. Follow James on Twitter at
James_Shiano.
and me, Giraffe Neck Mark with a C. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and we'll catch you after the Brave series. Peace out.
Peace out. See you next time.